What's going by his website style, Brian Sapp, here with another NRW checkpoint. Brian, how you doing today, my brother?
All right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Let's see. This week, we got some news coming up tomorrow with at the time of this recording, the PlayStation State of Play is going to be happening. So it'll be very interesting to see what they announce. And more importantly, what they announce for this year.
Yeah. Right.
I think, I don't know about you, I've read some of the not rumored games, but games that said they were going to be focused upon. And I don't think anything to what we know as gamers is new, and nothing is a this year sort of thing. So we'll see. Probably the biggest gaming news this week is the news that we all knew was coming, because they said this 2 years ago with the FTC filing that Call of Duty Modern Warfare, whatever it is, Cold War 6 or whatever it is coming to Game Pass day one. Brian, I don't understand why people are talking about, Game Pass is, they need this to work. They said they was going to do it from the start.
Right.
Brian, I sat there baffled because I looked at all of these thumbnails. I'm like, y'all really just clickbait now. There's no real conversation. This has been a move that's been telegraphed since 2021 or whenever they put in the bid. I mean, this is what they wanted to do from the jump. So to ask,
Sony was fighting.
Exactly. So for you to say that, hey, Xbox is they really need to do this, they're really hurting, so that's why they're doing this. But they've said they were going to do this all along.
Right.
I don't understand why people I don't understand. I mean, does bad Xbox news get people clicks and views? I don't know, because I purposely stopped watching a lot of cats, because that seems like any little thing that comes out, that's all they talk about now. Like, this is doom and gloom. I'm like, Sony has yet to release a first-party game, because Helldivers 2 is second-party, not first-party.
Right.
Sony has yet to release. And again, I'm not saying tit for tat per se. I'm just saying that there are issues with all the gaming companies that you can create this sort of clickbaity, doom and gloom sort of headline and conversation about. But we only see it really directed toward Xbox and some of the moves they made, and even things they've said they were going to do for years, and now it's a desperate attempt to get subscribers. No, they're going to do this from jump. And the funny thing is, right? So I think PlayStation makes up about 70% of Call of Duty sales or something like that, which ain't going to change. Right. So you're talking about maybe 10% of total Call of Duty sales on Xbox. I feel like you're going to get more people playing Call of Duty. There are plenty of people I've seen online that say, hey, I haven't played or bought a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2 or whatever it is on the Xbox One, but I will be playing it because it's on Game Pass. And then those people are buying DLC. Those people are buying microtransactions. I mean, I don't see why that is a bad thing and a bad idea. Let's be frank. There are a lot of people who buy the game who are going to buy the game anyway, just guess what they do. They want that physical copy. They want to be able to have it, own it, what have you. So I don't, at the end of the day, I don't understand the doom and gloom. I don't understand why this negative light is cast upon every single decision that Xbox makes. While, again, Sony has a lot of things that we as gamers can call them out for, can talk about how their business is stagnating, but that's not something you see the mainstream gaming media really do. And that's why I have an issue with, like, make it fair. Again, Sony hasn't come out with a first-party title all year. They said they wouldn't. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. Sony shut down studios. No one talked about Sony's going under because they shut down, 4 studios or whatnot. Nobody talked about that. No one's talking about how the PlayStation VR has so underwhelmingly sold. They're not talking about how it's doom and gloom for PSVR. Like, these conversations are not being put out there. And again, I'm not saying they should, because I don't think it reflects, I don't think the things that have happened reflects those sort of viewpoints. But where's the equity in this conversation? I don't know. It pisses me off to a degree. not because I'm Xbox fan, but because I sit there and I think, well, the same is true on with other companies, but this is not the conversation you have surrounding those decisions.
Right. I think it is just a cool thing to hate on Xbox. that's always what it's boiled down to. We're used to Microsoft, like they literally been around since pretty much the beginning of computers, or at least personal computers.
Yeah.
And you know, some of their decisions have been questionable. Some of them has been, it is what it is. But you're absolutely right. Like that's the crazy part. Yes, this is a desperate attempt for more subscribers, not because they are desperate, because they just want more money. It's a capitalist
right.
like, yeah, like so you're right. This is a last ditch effort. Yeah, they want to make some more money.
They want more money because they're already making it. Game Pass has been Game Pass has been proven to make money. It's just stagnant. It's not that it's not making money. It's not that it's failing. It's not growing at the clip that they want. Okay, cool.
So how do we make it grow?
Right. Let's get more money.
Right.
It's not a last. Nothing's dying. And again, this is something they said they were going to do from the jump.
Right.
It's not as if they made this surprise announcement where, look, when they put World of Warcraft on Game Pass, okay, then I can understand the conversations about, this is a desperate attempt and yada, yada. Okay, I get it. But when they said from the jump, this is what they wanted to do, this is not a desperate attempt at anything.
They actually right. It's not a desperate attempt. They just making good on the promise that they told you.
Exactly.
Because you got to think about it from their side as well. Well, again, this entire, well, not the entire, but a large part of Sony's pushback has been over the Call of Duty title specifically.
Mm-hmm.
They told their player base, this is what we're going to do with Activision Blizzard once we get it. They have it now, so they're doing it. We already knew it was going on Game Pass because they told us that. But
exactly,
it is what it is. I don't know. People like to have things to be upset about. That's what I find with the internet, and what tends to be the most clickbaity or whatever. Like people like to engage in shit talk, and while it can be entertaining, it's also like at least do it from a perspective where your point can actually make sense. Like, oh, this is doom and gloom for the Xbox. It's not. It's the plan. Why you didn't say that when they put that out? But it is what it is. I don't know.
Right. I don't get it. But the one thing about all of that is, and some other news came out, which I thought was very interesting, which really goes into a lot of things we talk about, is that a lot of people have not migrated to current gen consoles. And I think this is true for Xbox, but I think as of right now, the ratio is like 1.5 to 1. So I think it's like 50 million or 60 million PS5 sold to like 30 Xboxes or something like that. It's about 30 Xbox Series systems, right? Okay. But half of PlayStation's user base is still on PS4. And I think this is about the same for the Xbox too. Mm-hmm. I am not surprised at that.
Me either.
At all. While they were selling like hotcakes and couldn't keep them in stock, the games, and we've said this, very few games come out that are next gen don't look next gen. They don't give me a reason to say, wow, like I told you, playing Senua's Saga, that looks like a next gen game. Okay. When we looked at Harold Halibut a couple weeks ago, that looks like a next gen game. They look like drastic improvements over playing on our PS4s or Xbox Ones. And so many people are pretty much saying, hey, what is the point in buying a new console? Why do I need to? And again, I've said this time and time again, especially with Game Pass. Mm-hmm. Game Pass effectively, at least for first-party titles, eliminates the need for me to buy an Xbox Series system.
Right. I mean,
so I find it interesting.
Yeah, I think the cause of that may be the way that we consume games now. It's like you talked about earlier how some people still go out and buy physical copies. back when Xbox and PlayStation 1 was out, that's all you could do is go buy physical copies. So I want to say in between the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 era, or once we got to that era of PlayStation and Xbox, where I forget what PlayStation or what Xbox was out when PlayStation 3 lifespan.
That'd be 360.
360.
No, 360.
So with Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, we start to see more of that. The PlayStation store becomes bigger. The Microsoft or the Xbox store becomes bigger. You can download games now to your console instead of going to GameStop and buying them or whatever the case might be. So I just feel like once we got used to that and then came into a space where it's like there's not much technical or hardware difference or graphical difference between PlayStation 4 and 5 and Xbox One and Series X and X, it was like, what's the point? Because now you think about it, this is also the first generation of consoles where they giving us an opportunity to say, fuck the disc altogether. You can just get a digital. Right. So it's like, I think the way...
Not even that. They don't even give us the option anymore to get the disc.
Exactly. So I feel like because games have become more digital and it's all, you can just download and be done, and the graphics on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One they still good, even though there's better.
Exactly.
Like, those are still good graphics. So it's just like, what's the point?
Yep.
You tack on the fact that y'all raised the prices of the console, so when they normally come out, and then the fact that, again, back in the earlier times of these consoles or whatever, once the PlayStation 2 came out or the Xbox, what was the next? Xbox, once Xbox and PlayStation 2, like when they came out, it was no more like, oh, we still making games for the PlayStation 1. It was like, no, we got this 2. And then if you have PlayStation 1 games, you can play them on your 2, but we're not making no new games for your PlayStation 1. Get the 2. They're not doing that this time. All these games come out, you can play them on all the Xboxes and all the PlayStations or whatever. So it's like, if a game comes out that I really, really want to play, and y'all are telling me you can still play it on your PlayStation 4, it'll look better on the PlayStation 5 if you want to buy one, but you can still play it on the 4.
Right, yeah, that backwards compatibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to just play it on the Xbox One and say, forget it. Buy a new console for what?
That's the way I feel in many respects. There are, and again, I talk a lot of games that I want to play that I will end up buying as cross-console. I mean, cross-generational. Exactly. And I think that with that backwards compatibility piece, I think, honestly, it gives a lot of publishers and developers a lot of leeway in what they can do with the game.
Right.
I also think that, again, because it's digital, it's easier for backwards compatibility. I think that if it was all physical still, I don't think we would have this conversation.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think because it's digital and we consume games digitally mostly now, it's that conversation where, okay, I don't need to buy. I can still go to Xbox One store and get new games every week. Or, there are hella sales. Let me download this. So, we talk about our backlogs all the time. And there's so many games still available for us to play. And especially you're looking at the Xbox, I got games going back all the way to 2001 that I can play. That's going to be download and buy. Whereas, and this time I want to get at, so PlayStation, I don't know if it's an official announcement or just a rumor, but you're having more PS2 classics come to the PS Plus, like the second tier and above.
Okay.
Like Sly Cooper and a couple other ones. Yeah, but no, you cannot get your disc that you own and put it in. You have to download. So they've effectively put backwards compatibility behind a paywall, much like Nintendo.
Yes.
That sucks.
It does. The only thing I see a benefit from with the way that the market is shifted to more digital formats for all the games instead of having, making a big deal out of physical releases, it extends the lifespan of the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, as well as it leaves room for the PlayStation 5 and the Series S and X to have longer lifespans. Because it's like,
I agree.
The focus is digital. They don't gotta swap us out for new consoles every 5 to 7 years. We could literally get a decade plus off of one solid console, and then when there's actually innovation in the industry and there's a need for a new console because technology is advanced that way, then y'all could put something out and have the world going crazy. So if Sony and because you look at what Nintendo's doing.
I'm about to say the Nintendo model. I say,
right.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Right. They're not chasing the graphics and the fancy hardware. They like whenever something new comes out revolutionary, then we'll jump. And I like that. I think that's a very smart play. Hopefully Microsoft and Sony does that, because I'm interested in what's next for both of those consoles specifically, but I'm still playing.
Some of the rumors are true. Then at least with the Microsoft end, we may be seeing some of that.
Right.
So we'll see. All right, let's get into the games. And first up, this week we have a game where we talk about that multi-platform, multi-generational.
MultiVersus.
It's MultiVersus, which, we've seen a lot of live service games say that, we're gonna be right back. And we never see them again.
Right.
MultiVersus actually came out. So this is the full release. If you guys remember, a couple months ago was out in beta, and then it went away, and then rightfully so, people talked about doom and gloom for this game maybe never coming back, because we had seen and we continuously see so many live service games get released, have lackluster sort of support and whatnot, and the fans don't really play. The Steam numbers go down, and then it just poof goes away. It says it's coming back, but it never comes back.
Right.
MultiVersus.
That's what MultiVersus did too.
Yes, and we we're all worried about that. But it came back. It's come back this week. A full release on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, and PC. I still don't understand why this isn't on Switch, but okay. MultiVersus is a platform fighter with players battling on different stages and attempting to knock the opponent 56 beyond the stage's boundaries by dealing sufficient damage while 1 versus 1 and free-for-all options are available. The game emphasizes battling in teams of 2 characters. Most attacks in the game are designed with this in mind, including other players passively strengthening the move's effect. So if you don't know, this is basically, I would say, a Warner Brothers version of Smash Brothers that's free to play, using Warner Brother characters and other characters, which we'll see in the trailer we're watching today, that are from all of the Warner Brothers, Warner Discovery owned properties. So you can have Bugs Bunny facing off against somebody from
DC,
Game of Thrones, or Superman, Batman. So it's a free for all of characters from that universe, which we talked about it before when it first released, which is an excellent idea, and I think that one that continuously allows them to mine characters and properties. We can see people from Dune, we can see people from the Matrix, and there's so many people and characters we can see from those Warner-owned properties show up in this game to keep the game continuously fresh and full of life.
I agree, and it's a fun game. I
played
it a lot while I was in the beta thing on the consoles or whatever, because it was available. I think they really, what they said, I don't know. I haven't played Smash Brothers much, maybe like 2 or 3 rounds. But to my recollection, there's no enhancing the characters in Smash Brothers. You kind of just play with the skill set that they have. On MultiVersus, though, the more you play with the character, the more like things that they give you to make that character actually better. Your cooldown times on your techniques might be a little bit, less than somebody who's just playing a new character for the first time, or you might have a little extra power-ups and stuff. So I really like that. It put a cool spin on it, and I'm ready to get back into MultiVersus. I kind of missed it a little bit.
I enjoyed the brief time I played it when it came out in beta, but now we have a full release. I'll definitely check it out again.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up, we have Astor, Blade of the Monolith. Again, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, S, X, Switch, and PC. Also, side note, I think that the Switch's dominance has aided in that retardation of new console adoption as well, because publishers, the dominant platform in many respects is the Switch. They don't have to make these cutting edge graphic games and then they can port them to other systems. So I think that has a factor in it as well that I don't think a lot of people talk about. I talk about the lowest common denominator and talk about the Xbox Series S, but no, it's really the Switch. That's the lowest common denominator we deal with when it comes to game development. But rip through hordes of enemies with fury and style in this fast-paced action RPG. Play as Astor, a young warrior determined to unveil the secrets behind the creator's unforeseen demise. Wield an arsenal of runic weapons to hunt down the evil haunting the planet. Guiles and save it from impending doom. And we are watching the trailer for that one as well.
Okay.
Next up, we have Humanity. Now, this is a game. This is not a new game, but it's new to the Xbox. It's dropping on Xbox One, S, X, and is dropping on Game Pass as well. It actually dropped on PC and PlayStation 5 as well as PlayStation Plus, and I believe it's still there. So I heard a lot of buzz about it last year on PlayStation Plus, so it's now coming to Xbox. It's a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming. Play a lone Shiba Inu charged with commanding massive marching crowds to the goal in story mode, or browse a wide array of user-made levels created via the in-game stage creator. So basically, it's like the Lemmings games, but you like guide a bunch of humans around different levels in order to get them to the goal.
Okay. I see a lot of games implementing that create your own level thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Minecraft because I know.
Right, exactly.
And then before you move on,
I think I missed one. My bad.
Yeah,
I gotta go back.
Yeah. Nine Souls for the PC.
Yes.
Okay. What it says, or a lore-rich, hand-drawn 2D action platformer featuring Sekiro-inspired deflection-focused combat. Embark on a journey of Eastern fantasy. Explore the land once home to an ancient alien race and follow a vengeful hero's quest to slay the 9 souls, formidable rulers of this forsaken realm. Okay, that sounds cool, actually.
Yeah, and we are watching the trailer for that one, so I'm looking forward to that one. That sounds very interesting.
Okay, it does.
Yeah.
What was next?
Next up, F1 24. Yep. We know what that is. It's on PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, and PC. I'm not even going to read the description. F1 Racing 2024. If you like F1, this is the game for you. Career mode, dynamic handling system. If you're a car lover, racing, F1, this is for you.
Right.
And last but not least, and I'm going to... it's something I want to bring up before we get to the trailers after this one, because that's something I saw and I thought it was going to be very interesting. Next up, we have Hypercharged Unboxed on the Xbox One, S, and X. It's actually originally dropped on the PC back in 2020, so it's been gesting a while before it gets to consoles.
Right.
Hypercharged is a first and third person shooter action game where you've always dreamed of. Grab your friends, complete objectives, defend the hyper core against waves of weaponized toys, and defeat major evil together in the story campaign.
Okay.
So we aren't watching the trailer for it, but looking at F1 and it's EA, it reminded me of something. So we remember that EA dropped the FIFA license, but still has like all of the teams and stuff for their football manager or football club, whatever.
Okay.
2K apparently has picked up the FIFA license.
Oh, it's going down.
The name.
It's going down.
Do you know how many people that's going to confuse just because it says FIFA? Because people still call football club, whatever, FIFA. Right.
They're going to have to differentiate now because 2K going to roll that out as FIFA, 2K, the only FIFA.
Look, 2K can put out garbage in itself because of the name, because it is so, it's like Madden. And and mind you, I don't think EA was wrong because they were charging them crazy money for just the license for the name.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought, I'm like, oh, this is going to be funny. And it's 2025, so this will be next year.
Oh, wow.
When this comes out. Right, exactly.
But you said they don't have, so they're not allowed to use the real teams, the real soccer team?
I don't know what their deal is, because there are other soccer teams that exist. Also, I think the World Cup is like, so EA wouldn't have license to the World Cup if I'm understanding it correctly, because they don't have the FIFA license. So that means that FIFA 2K25 would have license to the World Cup.
Okay.
And all of that branding. So it could be very interesting. We haven't had a real competitor in the football field since Konami's Winning 11 series. And that kind of could put, 6, 7, maybe 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see. Right. I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
So first up, we have MultiVersus, a new trailer featuring a friend of ours from a place in New Jersey called Crystal Lake.
Get off me, furball! I can't breathe.
Be quiet. It's just a weirdo in a mask. It's just a weirdo in a mask.
Oh yes, they even own a lot of the horror properties too.
This spring,
forgot about that.
Is done playing around.
Okay, Jason coming to MultiVersus.
He's journeyed to space.
Oh, I love that. They got a different version.
Yeah,
rabbit.
We have ourselves a rabbit hater.
On May 28th.
Yeah, they really good with the skins on this game too.
MultiVersus.
And they not hard to unlock. You can pay, right? It's definitely, if you grind it out, you can get skins you want.
When we get out of here, we gotta keep in touch, dude. I love you, man. Oh my God. Wow, that was dark.
One, I'm ready.
Let me tell you, this is the cool thing about this. Well, right, that was great. You were alluding to, Warner Brothers doesn't own Friday the 13th.
The character they have license to, though, right?
Well, there's been an ongoing battle for that between the original writer and then Sean Cunningham, the original director. They settled that last year. But Warner Brothers doesn't own that, but they do own Freddy.
I was about to say.
Yeah, they own Freddy. So hey, so Freddy versus Jason in MultiVersus. Yeah,
we about to have it.
Yep, there we go.
Cool.
All right, next up we have 9 Souls.
All right. Oh, instantly art style.
Yeah, love it.
Oh yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah. I don't know. They've been putting out a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Now it's more like you probably find these games on like tablets or whatever, mobile games.
Yeah,
I really like though that these developers, they pushing for these games to be like console releases and PC releases and stuff, because they good. It's crazy how the side scroller genre kind of took a back seat once more dimensions were added to consoles.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying like seeing them come back, because I feel like they've actually, like, during their time away, they've actually been perfected a little bit. I like what I'm seeing, and this one looks really, really good.
No, I agree totally. Yeah, it's only a PC, but I feel like it's one of those games that'll make its way to console eventually.
Agreed.
All right.
What's the last one?
Last but not least, we have Astor, Blade of the Monolith.
See, this game remind me of like a Spyro or a Jack and Daxter. Like it got that feel to it, like that older console generations.
Yeah,
This look cool though.
it does.
See, I can really see this game being silly.
Looks nice.
It does. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Another good trailer.
Yeah, some really good trailers. Again, it's not about the graphics. It's about these companies really pushing gameplay and art style and really creating really fun experiences. And I think in this ongoing conversation, I think that's what lost a lot of times when they talk about doom and gloom and all of that. So, but Brian, what's going on with you this week, man?
Preparing another episode of the Talk+Play Blerd Pod. You just reminded me that you got a State of Play coming out tomorrow. So I'm gonna hold back on finishing the edits on that so I can get that audio in there and just roll it out together. But other than that, yeah, I'm talking about some new music I've been listening to, and I got into a new anime that I'm like super enjoying. That's been crazy. You know, Diddy.
Yeah. But like you don't want to talk about it, but you got to. So.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? But I'm gonna try to say something. But yeah, other than that, not much going on. How about yourself?
It's been a travel week for me, so right now I'm in a Lone Star state. So not too much. We're gonna probably come out. But last week dropped a bunch of stuff, including my interview with the lovely Scarlet Sky. Check that out. It was a really dope interview. With her, talked about Diddy with Ren on her show, Ren's Playtime Corner, and then talked about my thoughts on Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 and the Xbox tax, which let me tell you, man, and we talked about it last week. We're really looking at the conversations around that game and how I think there's some media just straight biased because there's no reason that you give the original 9 and you give the sequel a 4. That you don't give that game the same game you gave Gollum, okay? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like, how is that possible? Right. How is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 get the same score as Gollum? I don't care how much you didn't like the game or wasn't your cup of tea. There is no reason that it's Gollum. What? And I told you that's not even my type of game, but I was like, this is impressive. This is good. This is like I was sucked in. Like, and honestly, and I told you, playing on cloud is cool, but I want a new system to play that game, to download and not be reliant on it. Like that's a game to me. I'm like, oh, I need to get a Series X, like straight up. Like I played. I'm like, no, I don't want to play this on the cloud. I need a Series X, a Series S, or a Series S because that's how impressive and how much that game sucked me in. Okay. And for anybody that is a credible game journalist to come away to say it's a 4, crazy, is some absolute bullpuck. There's no way that you can come away. And again, these journalists, people who do this for a living, who are supposed to be objective, and that's what I'll talk about. Like, no, There's no way that you can be a games journalist and give that game a 4. You can be disappointed because you're expecting something else.
Okay.
You can, not buy into the hype.
Right.
You can give it a 6. You give it a 7. A 4?
Crazy.
Nah. That right there, you tell me that you have a bias, because even some of the comments are like, oh, it was on, like, it wasn't Xbox, it was a PlayStation exclusive, now it's Xbox, so I can't rate it. Like, people said that in some of their reviews. Like, the bias is real, man. And we've talked about it before, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I think it's just, people just kind of reading between the lines and going, but with this game, man, there's some people who just, again, we talk about it's cool to hate on Xbox. I think it goes to the same thing. It's cool to crap on things that come out on Xbox for online, for whatever reason. You and I, we are gamers.
Mm-hmm.
We want to game. We want to champion games. We want all games to sell.
Definitely.
Look, the Gollum game, the Kong game, all that stuff, crap where they came out last year, deserve to be roasted over coals and shat upon for the quality in which, look, even people found redeeming quality in that Walking Dead game. Again, that was some shovelware. This is a game, and you see this game and you're like, you can't help but be amazed. And you play it as like, okay, it may not be your cup of tea, but if you can't walk away with an appreciation of what the developers tried to do, then I don't think you're a real gamer. You're just a loyalist, or you're just someone who's just doing this for clicks and views. Right. That's just my opinion.
Which that's a lot of influencers in the gaming space today.
Right. But that's what I talked about in that video. But yeah. So, Nerds of the World, make sure you follow us on Twitter, at the NRW, on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe.